guys, it's Julia and welcome back to my channel, and for today's video I'm going to be doing my June 2017 reading wrap-up, talking about all the books that I read in the month of June. First up here, I read Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare, which is the second book in the Dark Artifices series. I'm not going to talk too much about this because I did a full 20-minute review on it, so if you want to check out all my in-depth thoughts, non-spoilery and spoilery, check out that video. I'll link it down below and up on the screen. Am I doing the right side for once with the card? Yeah, you know what I mean? I'll link it up there somewhere. But Lord of Shadows, I really liked. I liked it better than Lady Midnight. I thought it was a very big development in the story. And yeah, I talk about it more in that video, but I gave it 4.5 out of 5 stars, which, if you know, for me is a really good rating. So here I have Othello by William Shakespeare, which I loved this book. Play. Okay, so we were reading this for school. This is one of his tragic plays. So there's a man named Othello married to Desdemona, and there's this guy named Iago in the story who's the villain, and he's appears very honest, but he's really vindictive, and he's very just so bad but so good. Like, I loved him as a character. He's out for revenge against Othello, and he goes to major lengths. He destroys lives, and it's fantastic. I love this. I love Shakespeare, so I ended up giving this book, I believe, another 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really loved it. If you're interested in reading a Shakespeare play, pick up Othello. It's great. Here I have Rose Madder by Stephen King. This is about Norman and Rosie, and after 14 years of them being married, Rosie decides to get the hell out of there, to leave her abusive husband, and all the things that have been happening. Feels very realistic. It has a lot of really uncomfortable scenes, stuff that's really hard to read. So just be aware of that before picking it up. I did do another full-length review on this book if you want to hear more of my thoughts, but I actually did really like it. I thought the aspect of physical sexual abuse was done very well. I liked how women's groups were incorporated into this book, and I thought it was really interesting. And Norman was a really interesting character, and I really liked Rosie. And there's a slight paranormal element in this book because there's a painting, and there's something going on with the painting, so there is a slight paranormal element, but for the most part it deals with an abusive story between a husband and wife. But definitely check out my review if you're interested in more thoughts. But I gave this book 3.5 out of 5 stars. Next up here I have Every Other Moment by Jonathan Kislev. I'm so sorry. I know I'm butchering his name, so I apologize to Jonathan if he's watching this. I'm sorry. But I was sent this book in exchange for an honest review. I was sent 3 books actually, which was really generous of him. And I was sent this book, Every Other Moment. It's a manual on choosing happiness. And this month with exams, I needed a self-help book. But this was not really it was a self-help book. I guess you could fall into that I guess it falls into that category, but I thought it was really special. I really enjoyed reading it. It was I was having a conversation with him, not I was it just felt very personal. There were pages where there was a quote and an illustration, so I thought that was really beautiful. This one I turned to purposefully because it's an Edgar Allan Poe quote, which you guys know is my biggest weakness, seeing Edgar Allan Poe references or quotes in other books. Great. But I was very surprised by this. It's probably, out of all the self-help books I've read, it's one of the better ones. I really enjoyed it. If you're looking for a self-help book, I would check this one out. It's very short, and I just thought I needed it at the time, and it was great for me, so I gave it 4 stars. Next up here, I have Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. This is the sequel to This Savage Song, and this series follows monsters. It follows Kate and August, one who's a monster, one who's a human, and their journeys. There's no romance involved, but there is battles and all this good stuff. And I loved This Savage Song when it came out last year, so super excited to get into Our Dark Duet, and I did like it. I was a little bit disappointed. That was a huge stutter. I was a little bit disappointed from some aspects of this book. There was just some things, the pacing of these books I find very strange. I don't know what it is. I read them because I love the characters and the writing. I can read through it fine. But the pacing is just really strange because not much goes on till a while into the book. And for a duology and for the last installment, I was kind of a little bit annoyed by that. And there was some spoilery things that I had issues with. But if you want to hear about that, check out my Goodreads review. You can check out my Goodreads review or my whole video book review that I'll have linked down below and up on the screen. But yes, this was fine. It wasn't as good as The Savage Song. I buddy read this with Kayla, and I gave this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. Next up here, I have The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis, and holy shit, guys, this book was really good. I was so surprised. For some reason, I thought it was a lighthearted contemporary that had like feminism elements to it, but that's not what it was at all. First line captured me right away. It basically, like, the first line of this book is, "This is how I kill someone." So I was like, I'm sold. So I picked it up right away because I was reading a bunch of first pages of a bunch of books, and this one just caught my attention right away. And I read it super quickly, and I loved it so much. It was really good. I'm definitely going to pick up more by Minnie McGinnis. I really enjoyed her writing style. Basically, I don't want to say too much what this book is about because I really don't want to spoil certain things, and I really don't want to say the wrong thing. This book does have some trigger warnings for rape, molestation, as well as it has elements of animal cruelty. So if those are topics that affect you, you might want to give this book a pass or just read at your own risk kind of thing. I loved it. I gave it 4 stars, a solid 4 stars for me. It was really interesting. I'm definitely going to be picking up more by this author. I really enjoyed the writing. The characters were really interesting. We got like 3 point of views, a small town, so it's very like intimate. Everyone knows everyone, all that sort of stuff. It was great. I would recommend this so much. Just read it, please. And last here we have Born to Love, Cursed to Feel by Samantha King. I picked this up because it is a poetry collection. I really liked this. It was good. The poems I really liked. Some of them I didn't like at all. Like, some of them I was just reading and I was like, yeah, kind of basic, like, okay. But the ones that I did like really touched me, and those were the ones that I marked. So there's maybe a good like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, like a good 17 poems that affected me. So there's that. It wasn't great, but if you read a lot of poetry and you're interested in reading more poetry, I do think this is a decent one. It's not my favorite. It's not my highest recommendation. It was an interesting read, and it was a quick read. So yeah, I gave it 3.25 out of 5 stars. But yeah. So what'd you read this month? What's new? What'd you read? Let me know your thoughts down below on the books I talked about, and I'll see y'all very soon with a new one. Bye!
Queen for queen and move just like this. When you fall down, know your body.